Hi guys, I'm Julia and today we're going to talk about how to get your week organized and how to get stuff done. If you're watching this video, it's because you need to get your schedule and probably your life together, and that's okay. So today I'm going to share with you what I do to get my schedule on track and to get things done. And let's just put it out there, it's still hard. My grandma probably at my age already had 3 kids, a job, who knows? It's okay. We're not here in the business of comparing ourselves to other people. We're here in the business of, this is where I'm at right now. I'm trying to get my stuff organized and this is what I'm going to do. Because it's not always easy. You, just like myself, we want to find the perfect solution. And we research things and we research things and we research and research. But we don't find it. There are too many solutions for things these days. And this researching gets you stuck, gets you on a pattern where you're not executing. And this is the worst pattern to be at, because if you're out there, even if you're making mistakes, you're still way ahead of people who are still planning and thinking how to do things. So we want to get in this stage. We want to get into the habit of doing things. But for this, a little organization doesn't hurt. As you may hear a lot out there, complexity is the enemy of execution, and I truly believe that. So we try to make things as simple as possible. And this is something I actually teach a lot of people, believe it or not. It works for a lot of people. It doesn't work for a lot of people as well. So let's find out if you're one of these people that it works for. Let's hope it is. So without further ado, let's get to how I get my stuff organized on a day-to-day basis. If you're here listening to my video, you already have too much time in your hands, so just try it out. Get a pen and paper. I will wait. Did you get your pen and paper? I hope you did. Let's get this started. That's the first rule. Just do it. Jump right in. Get started. Okay, so I have many different things here that I do. I have many different calendars. I just love writing calendars. But the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a list. A list of all the clutter inside your head. A list of all the things you gotta do. Just write everything down. Because I assure you, all of the stuff you have in your head, you're wasting so much precious energy just trying not to forget those things. Not to mention all the anxiety you feel because you feel overwhelmed with all of the things you have to do. Just write everything down. Just brain vomit everything. Just write everything down. Probably wasn't the best use of the word. You know what? I'm going to join you and I'm going to make my own list so you feel more motivated to do your list as well. Okay, we're both finished, right? Now, look at this list. We're going to divide this list into 2 categories. One category are things that you have to do every week, recurrent things. What if I do them once a month? Doesn't go into this list. It's only things that you have to do every week. What if it's only once a week? Then it is weekly. You do it every week, once a week. It goes in the list. You can use highlighters. They're your friends. So pick a color and highlight all the things which you do every week. You can circle them. You can make a new list and organize them however you want to do it. Looking at this big list, separate all the things that you do weekly. I'll do this with you. Great. Now, all of the things that are left are things that you have to do sporadically. This is the sporadic list. Let's call it that. So, things that I have to do maybe once a month, or I only have to do them this week because something came up and I have to do this. So, just separate this into 2 categories. But let's go back for a sec. First thing you do, you write a list, all the things you have in your mind. You separate it into 2 categories. Number 1, weekly things. Number 2, things that came up, or as I like to call it, sporadical things. Now, what I like to do with the list of things that are recurrent, that I do weekly, is I like to organize them in my agenda. I live in Germany, so I have like the German style calendar right here. For me, I've tried so many different agendas. This is what I find that works best for me. I used to have this daily agenda. It's okay, it reminds me of things, but when I can see the entire week, it just works a lot better for me, especially since I have client sessions and things like that. So this might be a good idea for you. It has hour by hour all of the days of the week. So what I like to do, going back to the week that we are at right now, I like to get all of my recurrent things and make a plan for them. Now you're going to schedule all of the weekly things. You're going to decide on when are you going to do what. And I even include things like cleaning the house, vacuuming, doing the laundry. Just things we gotta do every week. It's part of life. I hope you do your laundry every week. I'm just going to choose a time which makes sense that I will do the recurrent things. So I'll get item by item, and I hope you do the same. So get your first item on the list of weekly or recurrent things. Let's say you have to vacuum every week. Pick a day of the week you're always going to vacuum. So for me, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. it's a good time for me to vacuum. So I'm going to write this down, and it's set in stone. That's a good start. Of course, this can change, but it's good to start scheduling those things so you remind yourself you have to do them instead of keeping it in your head. Hence why I use this sheet, because if I said I'm going to vacuum every Wednesday at 11 a.m. and I realize, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. I'm just really hungry and I start making breakfast and then I forget to vacuum. Maybe I didn't schedule it for the best time, so then I will try and change it next week, and that's fine. So write down all of your weekly tasks and pick a day and time for them. Pause the video, do it. The most important thing is that you do this right now. Don't procrastinate. You're watching this video. It means you have way too much time. You're here. You found me. We found each other. We can help each other. Let me help you. Try this out. If you do it for 2 weeks, it doesn't work, that's fine. But at least you try something. Now you can say, I tried this and it didn't work. Now I know one less thing not to do. Great. You're already steps ahead of everybody else who is just researching. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to rank all of the things that are not weekly, things that just came up in your list. We're going to rank them from 1 to however many items you have. You're going to try to make this as simple, organized, and straightforward as possible. Then you're going to get item by item, starting with number 1, and scheduling the item in your weekly agenda. It doesn't matter how many items you have, we're going to schedule all of them. And we're going to schedule the one that has number 1 priority first. Hence why you put it in number 1 as number 1 priority. When am I going to do this? At what time? What day? Write it down. You must do it. It's non-negotiable. You wrote it down, you got to do it. This is a rule you have to have with yourself. And then lastly, you have all of your weekly to-do things in your weekly agenda already scheduled every week. And if things come up throughout your day, I just write them down in my notepad so I don't forget to do them. Something came up, it's not in my weekly to-do list, I have to do it this week or this month or this year, whatever. I will write it down in this list, okay? I'll write it down when it comes up, but I won't deal with it yet. I will just write it down throughout the day. I write it down in this list, so it's here, it's not in my brain. I know, I can trust it that it's in this list and I don't have to worry about it. And then every morning when I wake up, I check if anything is written in my notepad that I need to put from things to do and schedule them. If there are new things, I will just schedule them in my week, and then I can rip this shit off and I'm done. And then if something comes up again in my day, I will write it here, and then the next day I will schedule it again. This is how I don't keep my brain too overwhelmed. I keep myself organized and I keep myself on track. Now, the second thing that I do is I use this sheet right here. Pretty simple. All I have here is time and days of the week. I'm pretty sure it's in Portuguese because I like to write it in Portuguese. And then here is where I will write what I have actually done, because if you expect perfection, get out of here. It doesn't exist. So most likely you won't be able to do everything perfectly like you said you would. However, if you keep track of the things you actually did, it will help you monitor your week. I really like this. This has really worked for me because I'm able to, Sunday afternoon review my week and say, I actually did really well. Or say, oh my God, I spent 8 hours on Instagram, what I was doing with my life. So this is really important for you to monitor the things that you're doing and to keep yourself accountable, because I know that some people would rather not look at stuff and hope that it would just go away. And we know it doesn't happen like that, okay? We know that we need to look at things and face things in order to improve them. I will keep myself accountable by writing it down hour by hour in my day as much as I possibly can. Of course, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you can't be every hour writing things that you've done or didn't do. But I try to write things down. So by the end of my week, by Sunday evening, I will review my week and I will see where I spent most of my time, what I actually did with my time, But I will do that smart. I have another set of questions here, which are also in Portuguese, so I will try to get an English one to read it to you guys, which is learnings. You need to have a learning sheet so you can take the things that you did and give yourself credit for the things that you did. That's really important. I think that's the most important thing of all, because if you keep thinking that you're a failure, don't do anything right, you're going to feel like crap and you're not going to have motivation to keep going. But if you're able to acknowledge the things that you actually did, that you're proud of yourself for doing, you're going to have more motivation next week to keep going, to keep pushing through. And you have to look at the things that you weren't able to achieve and you have to be smart about them. Why didn't I achieve them? So I'm going to share with you the questions that I ask myself. Let me get it here on my laptop. I like to start my learning sheet with what did I feel this week? Because life is not just about ticking off tasks and getting things done. It is also about how am I feeling? Was my week mostly stressful? If it is, then maybe I need to change something. Or did I also feel a lot of joy and was I also proud? Feelings are important. They don't define you, but they make the quality of your life. So the second question is, what goals did I achieve? And I like to put a little percentage next to the goals. It's not just a matter of did I achieve the goal or not. It's also about did I make any progress? So for example, let's say my goal was reading 100 pages of a book this week. And I will write reading 100 pages of the book 80% because maybe I only read 80 pages. And it's not only, if I read 80 pages, I didn't achieve my goal of 100 pages, but that's still pretty damn good. So that's a good point. I always like to put percentage next to the goals. The second question is, how are these goals aligned with my long-term goals? This is my why. So here I would write something like, I want to become smarter so I feel more proud of myself. So it's not just about reading the 100 pages anymore. It is about becoming smarter, more successful, helping people. So that's really important to write my whys every week to remind myself, why am I doing this? Then I will face the goals that weren't met by asking myself, which goals didn't I meet? Here I can say things like, I didn't eat healthy every day. So this was a goal that I had and I didn't meet. Or I didn't read my book every day like I wanted to. You get the point. Then I have a little section where I just tick off why I didn't meet the goals. So here I have 5 options. Number 1, my goals depended too much on other people. You need to make sure that you are in control of achieving your goals. Number 2, I didn't organize my time or I didn't prioritize my goal. Your why is not strong enough, so that's something you also have to fix. Number 3, I had a goal that was too big or too complicated. Number 4, I procrastinated. My goal didn't have a strong why or didn't motivate myself. And number 5, I just put other, so sometimes there's another reason, like something came up, legitimate reason, so you're right there. This next question is a great question. Even though you didn't achieve your goal, was there any progress? What was it? Like I was saying in the previous questions, sometimes you didn't achieve 100% of your goal, but you achieved 80% of your goal, and that's huge. So here is the place where you can try to feel better about not achieving your goal 100%, because even though you didn't achieve all what you expected, if you put in effort, there is always some progress. So it's really important that you acknowledge that. And I really love this question. Looking at your last week, what do you feel the most proud of? And what was the main reason that allowed you to change something? So this is the place where you have to give yourself credit. I'm so proud that I tried, that I, did 20% of my goal, but that's so much better than doing nothing like I used to. I tried, I organized myself. And then you're going to identify what's the main reason that allowed you to change something. What are the things that are useful that I have to keep doing? So that's a great learning. Then you're going to write for the goals that I didn't achieve. Write everything that you believe could have been different. Basically all your learnings. So here you can say, well, maybe instead of getting my phone as soon as I wake up and spend 2 hours scrolling through Instagram, I could have just put my phone aside and went straight into working out. Whatever it is. Important learnings. Then lastly, you're going to write once again, what learnings do you want to take into the next week? And remember, I'm doing this Sunday evening. So this is a great way to end Sunday. I'm basically writing down all the things that I've learned with last week while still feeling proud for the things that I was able to achieve and starting Monday with a really good mindset. I didn't achieve everything, but I made great progress and now I want to try this and this and this different. To me, this is the best way to review my week. I usually try to print these questions in the back of this scheduling. So I have my week here and then in the back I have the learnings so I can always go back and review them. And to me, that has been the most useful way to organize my week, get my things done, make progress without being so harsh on myself. I know the tendency is for us to overly criticize ourselves, be harsh, but this doesn't help you. This doesn't serve you. It's good to feel bad when you don't achieve something, but it's not good for you to stay there criticizing yourself over and over. This doesn't help you. You need to be strategic about this. You need to be smart about this. Take the things that you did well, try to do them again. Take the things that you didn't do so well, try to learn from them and do them better next week. And it's a process. It will never be 100%. You'll never get to a point in your life where everything will be perfect, where your schedule will be perfect, where you will make no mistakes. It is human to make mistakes. So just try to be kind to yourself in this process. And I promise you, being kind to yourself will help you get a lot further. Well, if you've watched it this far, then I think you've done all your exercises and you're ready to start. Come back a week later and let me know if it worked out, if you actually gave it a try. Like I said, there is no perfect system. This might work for you, this might not work for you, but the only way to find out is if you try. Stop searching around, just try this thing out. If it doesn't work, then go and try something else. But at least you've started. You took action, you tried something, and then that's something to feel proud of. So that's it, guys. I hope you feel really confident right now looking at your list, looking that you took action and you wrote things down. And now just start with the first thing you have to do today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this has helped you and I hope you have a great week.